I'm sorry. I'm a trans gang. You're making me really feel better. I'm happy I can make you feel better. That's really my goal in life is to make you feel something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. I'm here to make you feel. It's really where I'm at. So, uh, for being super fat people in the last couple years or something. A Lizzo crash out. She had a little bit of a crash. She had a little bit of a crash out recently. A little bit of a crash out. Talking about how her stuff's not getting as many views or something of that variety. It's really interesting to talk about because I think it opens up to a broader conversation about content creation overall, but I think she's the worst person to talk about it because she thinks that she's being attacked because she's boring. It's really interesting because she's not being attacked. She's just boring. I think she needs to understand that she is really boring and nobody wants to watch her stuff, which is interesting. I think she needs to understand, I guess, that part of where she's at because she's actively boring. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that. You think sometimes you piss me off, but that's what it is to be human. I hope I agitate everybody all the time. What's up, peace? I hope I piss off everybody 90% of the time. I hope there's 10% of the time we're questioning if you should be mad. You have no idea who that is. Lizzo is a artist. I guess I can say that. Always claims some kind of undeserved hate. I think a lot of her stuff is low-key undeserved, to be fair with you. So let's watch her video for a second because this is gonna get into a lot of other stuff that I want to talk about. That's just me. I don't even know what that's just me. That's just my display capture right there. Let me see here. Ooh, if I could change this, that'd be cool. Here we are. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. That's good. There we go. So this is the Lizzo video I want to talk about today. This is the Lizzo video. This is the main crux of what I want to get into for a moment. So this is Lizzo. I'm gonna play the whole video. And then we're gonna talk about it.
Hi, I'm Lizzo. I have an album coming out in 23 days, and I bet you nobody even knows that. I'll tell you why. Full disclaimer, last time I made a video like this, I got some hate on the internet because people were like, oh, she's just mad that she's flopping. But in person, in real life, real people in the industry came up to me and said, thank you for saying what you said because everybody else is too scared to say it. So I'm gonna end this disclaimer by saying, I don't really care what somebody on the internet who's never done this before has to say about it because you don't know what you're talking about, and I do. The algorithm-based way that social media functions now is destroying the music industry. Now, when I say the music industry, I don't mean music culture. I don't mean the good music that's out. I don't mean our ability to connect via social media to music. I'm talking about the actual industry that allows artists to sell their music for profit. Because if your algorithm is super serving you things out of order of when they're happening, then the general public has no idea when music is actually coming out. I have had several occasions where there were artists whose music I was actually looking forward to, I completely missed because I didn't realize it was out because my algorithm didn't tell me. And I don't want to blame everything on the algorithm. Of course, we curate our own reality. However, back in the day, which was maybe even just 5 years ago, we used to get things chronologically. Because of streaming and social media and our post-COVID chronically online society, most of music marketing is online. Not to mention, budgets are, therefore, music marketing relies heavily on social media. But now, ever since the algorithm has been showing us things out of order, baby, there's actually no way to successfully promote an album where everyone knows your album is coming. Now, mind you, when I say everyone knows your album is coming, that doesn't mean whether they care or not that it's coming. Believe it or not, once upon a time, there were artists who were just the biggest on the planet who everyone knew their album was coming, whether they were gonna buy it or not. It was ubiquitous. Where it bites me in the ass is I have a private page. I have a private page with over 280,000 people who follow me because they support me, because they love me. But even when I post on that page, I'm not hitting their algorithm. I have 280,000 people who want to buy my album, who want to see me on tour, and they're not even seeing my promotional videos. And I get accused of not promoting my album when I'm doing morning shows, podcasts, Netflix specials, dropping the packaging, dropping the cover, doing my part. And it's not just me, because virality does not equal album sales. There are people who are super viral whose albums just don't sell as much as their fame. Their albums don't match the amount of views they have on their posts. And listen, I'm gonna be okay. I'm a big girl. I'm a very successful woman. I have a loyal fan base. I'm saying this to bring awareness to where we're headed. It is deeply concerning, you guys. Fans are not even aware that their favorite artist is releasing music. And they're doing everything they need to do to keep up with their favorite artists. They follow them. Something has got to give about this, but you know what? What do I know? I'm just a girl. My album Bitch is coming June 5th, and if you didn't know, now you know.
So I think the worst thing here is that she's super annoying, and that leads me to believe that I don't want to listen to her. But outside of her being annoying, she brings up some really good points that everyone's already been talking about, and she's acting like it's a new thing. let's take BB No Money for example, right? BB No Money is the most annoying man on the internet to ever exist. And the reason I know this is because I love all of his cosplays. I think all of his cosplays are really well done. I think they're outstanding. I'm happy that he commissions artists. He's just slightly annoying. That's it. That's it. That's all that is. That's it. That's it. That's literally it. Here's the thing, right? I love BB No Money and what he does and how he represents his art and how he gets people on his side and how he actually pushes his art. It's just the fact that he's slightly annoying. That's it. That's the only issue I have with the guy. Same thing I have with Lizzo. I don't care for Lizzo's music on a really grand retrospective scale. I'm not listening to that. I'm more so listening to hyperpop or polyphia or something of that variety. And she's complaining that the 280,000 people on her private page aren't seeing her stuff, maybe because they have lives outside of you. Listen, I have 1/4 of a million people on my page. I'm close to that. I have 500,000 followers on TikTok. Do I complain that all 500,000 people aren't watching my stuff? No, I get like 1,000 views on TikTok. I get like 200 on Instagram. I get 40 on Facebook, and I'll get like 3,000 views on a YouTube video. That's because I didn't make a video entertaining enough for your algorithm. That's it. Most people don't check their subscriber feeds. This ridiculous notion that music should be the way it was before is insane. It's such a childish notion to think for 2 seconds that you should have the old way of music. The old way of music has died out completely. That is not how albums work. You have to be chronically, and I do mean chronically online, to push anything in the main zeitgeist. That's why BB No Money is so wildly successful when it comes to pushing this stuff, because he's annoying, but it works. Right? Think of Big Groove, or think of Young Gravy. He makes meme music, or think of people who make meme music. It works. It works. She was popular back then. Back in the day, guess what it was? That's crazy. It's crazy. It's so crazy to see. It's so goofy. I don't like it. I don't like it. And also, she's so irrelevant. She's so irrelevant. No one cares what Lizzo's doing. Where is Ja? Who cares about Lizzo? No one cares about Lizzo. No one's going out of their way to say, man, I miss Lizzo. Lizzo really, I'm craving a Lizzo album. Lizzo goes crazy. Lizzo goes nuts. No one cares about Lizzo. No one cares. It's the same people that complain about, well, MTV back in the day used to have all this stuff, right? MTV used to have all this marketability. I remember back in the day, they didn't even show black people on MTV back in the day. No one cares about you, Lizzo. I hate to say this because Lizzo is such a positive force in the body positivity movement and knowing to accept your body and learning to love the body you're put in. She was on the stage with the flute doing a split. She is an outstanding performer. But at the end of the day, Lizzo, I don't care about you. Period. Like in no universe, I don't care. I just don't. Why would I? What have you done in any capacity? It is a little bit of main character syndrome. There's no way I'm gonna care about you. I hate to say it. I hate to say it, dude. I really hate to say it because she's such a prolific, powerful black woman in an industry dominated in a force that makes her just overdrowned by other things. But no one cares anymore, Lizzo. Like, no one cares. And I'm so sorry. I can't even think of the last time that's happened. Most performers have main characters. You kind of have to. You kind of have to. Like, she used to be great, but then she took fat erasing injections and turned off her fan base. A little bit. A lot of people thought Lizzo was known for being fat, but it's more so she was known for being body positive. It's like if Queso lost all of his weight, and then people would say, well, we can't make fun of you anymore, Queso. Why would you be here? It's a little bit like that in some small ways. It's not the exact same because Queso is known for being fat, and Lizzo was known as the big performer, big and large and in charge, but she was also for body positivity. Whatever body she had, she was going to be happy with. That's the thing. Even if she worked towards improving her health, people were going to complain because we thought you liked being fat. No, she didn't like being fat. She liked her body. That's the thing about body positivity. People get that wrong all the time. That's what it is. That's what it is. Trans people are a dangerous society. That's so cool, Not Sans. That's so cool. That's so cool. Anyways, it's just the whole thing there. But today, first topic I want to talk about is Donald Jamarcus Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, What do we know of Trump? Can we give some opinions about Trump in the chat before I begin? What are the opinions of Donald Trump in the chat? I'd like to know. I'd like to know. Just let me know. What are the opinions of Trump in the chat? What are the opinions? He's making your girl with the drip. She do got drip on. She do got drip. Loser, great guy, about to be funny but highly ineffective as a president. He's a loser. Okay, understood. So I saw this article, and I want to talk about this article for a second. I want to talk about this article. I'm going to continue without supporting you. I want to talk about this article that I saw because Trump DOJ now using criminal subpoenas to turn, get this out of my face, to turn pro-trans hospitals into hunting grounds. So a New York hospital wrote that subpoenas have been served. Very interesting. Very interesting to see. He's going pretty well. So that's what's going on here, right? That's what's going on here. This is what I saw on the internet. So we're going to read this article. I'm going to go through this right quick. Trump's DLJ has stepped up their attacks on gender-affirming care reports. They have now issued criminal subpoenas rather than civil ones to multiple hospitals. The criminal subpoenas come with harsher penalties of noncompliance and represent a more aggressive approach. The DOJ originally issued subpoenas to over 20 hospitals in July 2025, demanding patient and provider information to any gender-affirming care provided for minors. Many of those hospitals either refused to comply or took the GOT to court over the matter. At least 7 judges refused to endorse those orders, quashing the subpoenas and calling out the DOJ for attempting to harass trans patients. So now he is trying to get people to disclose their medical information, to discover who is trans and what's going on here. He is actively doing that right now. The subpoena process saw an escalation recently when the DOJ went to court in North Texas to find a judge willing to enforce a subpoena in Rhode Island. The Rhode Island subpoena is now subject to a fresh motion to quash. The Trump administration now taking a step further. Those previous subpoenas were based on civil proceedings, meaning they could be issued by the DOJ, and a refusal to comply could lead to financial penalties. These new subpoenas are criminal subpoenas, which require a grand jury to be convened. Thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate the $5. Let me go ahead and read this real fast. I can't read it right now. Trans woman just dropping off always says she always support trans who could roll up, talk to you in the street sometime. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And one day we'll be able to talk. Now, convened for them to be issued. Refusing to comply with a criminal subpoena can result in fines, court orders, and a finding of obstruction of justice and even jail time. So he's upping the nonsense. It's a little bit interesting there. So, the news of these new criminal subpoenas broke when NYU Langone Health released a statement on their website discussing them. This is the statement. On May 7, 2026, NYU Langone Hospital's NYULH was one of the several institutions that received a grand jury subpoena from the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Northern District of Texas. NYU Langone Health wrote, grand juries are convened secretly and tasked with deciding whether criminal charges should be brought rather than providing a verdict on guilt. The accused is not notified of the grand jury's existence, and witnesses are only informed of the investigation when subpoenaed. So, these subpoenas have revealed a larger investigation that the DOJ is pushing through behind the scenes. New York State has a strong shield laws in place to protect patients and providers from this sort of out-of-state prosecution, similar to laws being introduced in California. Part of those laws requires providers to make reasonable effort to contact patients whose information is being requested at least 30 days for complying with the subpoena to give people time to fight for protect their privacy. So this goes against a lot of HIPAA laws. This goes against a lot of stuff. He is trying to literally trying to figure out who every single trans person is. That is what he's trying to do at the current moment. So I read this and I was a little confused why he wants to do this. We will not allow anti-trans extremists to turn our hospitals into hunting grounds, said Tyler Hack, executive director of the Christopher Street Project. In a statement, playing political games to weaponize Americans' private health information is not an attack on trans people. It's an attack on every American who benefits from basic patient provider privacy. So When you frame somebody as an enemy in the political sphere, you actually open them up to all the things enemies entail. If you can propagandize anybody as an enemy, you can ruin all the protections they have as a private citizen. You, as a private citizen, have so many available things available to you in so many different ways. And the instant those things are attacked, you should be scared. Even if you, and this is important, even if you hate trans people, I'm sure you like your privacy, right? I'm pretty sure you enjoy the privacy of having the ability to choose to deny the government access to who you are as a person. If this goes through, if they continue to do this, you will lose that access to actively have the ability to fight against the government and the nonsense that they are doing with these injections, these subpoenas, with all they do. If they can get this through and do this just because they're weaponizing against trans people, they can trick people. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. That's nasty. It's crazy. Trump used to be pro-trans 10 years ago, just a complete made-up issue. A lot of people can change in 10 years. A list strategy has improved since, this is true. They want to track us. You don't own your body and life or death, the states do, period. That's what it is. Go ahead, Odd. What's going on? Yeah, the LGBTQ was just a start. The fact that idiots think it will start and stop with trans people is insane, bro. Listen, it started with black people, right? They were like, oh, black people are evil. We got to make sure we get them under control because they are the enemy. There's so much back in the day of black people being harmed in general. Let me see if I can find it. There was a thing I saw. A thing you saw. You saw a thing? A thingy thing? I did see a thing. Saw a thing a while back about how they used to talk about black people back in the day. And it always got to me how people were so okay with how disrespectful they were to black people. It's just insane to see. So I'm going to show you. What it was. It was this thing I saw. So get ready for this. Hold on.
Why? I really don't. Because I just think that they're always looking out to make trouble.
Come on, let's get right up there. Better turn around, let's go back.
We were riding down this block, and these white people start saying, "Get out of here, niggas! Get out of my neighborhood! Don't come to this neighborhood." And then they start hitting on her,
throwing rocks and everything else.
Throwing rocks. Because we were in their neighborhood.
We went on a bike hike to McDonald's. We didn't mean to bother anybody.
We had a nice
saw a parade, we saw a gathering, so we went down there to see what was happening. I never even know people around here were like that. I've never experienced anything like this in my life.
Now, sure wish she had hit me with that rock. I would pick up the rock right next to me and hit him right dead in his face. They always say niggas are doing everything. They always say we're doing everything, right? Every time the white people come down the block, we don't push them out their neighborhood and throw rocks and start hitting them. We don't bother the white people around our neighborhood, but when we get in a white neighborhood, they just push us out.
Yeah. Everybody with us, we're nothing, they were a piece of dirt, dogs. I mean, that's the way you treat an animal. I mean, God, we're human beings. Yeah. You don't treat other people like that. It's just wrong. Black, white, I don't care. A person is a person. Skin should have no bearing on how you treat a person. That's just wrong.
I hate their goddamn guts.
You don't hate them. I can't say that I hate them. I can't say that it's totally the kids' fault. I mean, I'm sure their parents had some bearing on the way they feel and everything else. I think it's just a system. I don't know.
How did this terrible thing affect your children? When they ask you these things, why? What do you tell them?
There are good and bad in every people, every race, regardless. Tell them that we just happen to be amongst a few people whose minds are warped. And I'm not going to teach them that, regardless of how many bombs they put at this house. I'm not going to teach my children hate.
So this has been going on for many years, right? This has been a regular thing in the black community. Is the dehumanization of people. And black people back in the day were so wildly reasonable. We focused on singular issues. We mobilized, we marched, we did all these things. And you saw how reasonable those black people were. No, I don't hate people. There are good and bad people on every side. And that's a mindset I try my best to live by. I really do. But I'm proven over and over and over again that that doesn't work, right? It doesn't work all the time because they refuse to see us as just people, as just regular people. And that's not the only thing that it was. There's so many other things going on. And its ignorance is also a bigger issue than I'd like to admit. Here, let me show you the ignorance, too. This is the ignorance that I keep talking about.
If you could, would you paint a picture for us of what it was like on the plantation in your early days?
Everyone was happy. We never heard of all these things that we hear about today. And then it's no disgrace to say they're like children. When we say that, it's because they are like happy children, some of them. Because they like to sit in the sun and rather than work hard. My father had everything thoroughbred, from the pigs, horses, the dogs, and the people had to be thoroughbred.
As far as the colored people were concerned, I feel that they were a good bit happier than they are now. They had less in the way of material things. I can remember back in the 20s when I was a small boy, they were always singing at their work. They had a great sense of humor. And now today, they just don't seem to care much about that as they used to.
What do you think are the differences between the races?
I think there's a refusal to accept responsibility. I think there's a lack of motivation. They don't worry like the white man. If they have troubles, they go to sleep and wake up the next morning, and that trouble is over.
Is it possible that white people have something to do with the lack of ability for blacks to assimilate into this culture?
Absolutely. But customs die awful hard. It takes a long time. And everyone knew years ago that the Negro would have to be given equality. But in the South, it's been compared to straightening teeth. It takes a slow, steady pressure. You can't do it with a hammer. And white people's attitudes will change in time. I'm a lot more liberal than I was 5 years ago, and I know I'll be a lot more liberal 5 years from now, and I think almost everyone else is in that category.
What has tended to make you more liberal?
Well, realization that the Negro is a human being like anyone else.
Mr. Hasty, what did you think we were before you began to think of us as human beings?
Well, in a way, we thought of you almost as a very superior pet. Something, or rather someone, we had to take care of, because we had to do so much of their thinking for them. We had to do almost everything for them, except living their own lives. Anything outside, we had to do for them.
If you could.
So this was 1970. If I could paint a picture for you here, that was 1970, right? That was 1970, where they had all these racist things going on, right? Now it is 2026. So it was about 56 years ago. Now you're probably thinking to yourself, "Oh, this was so long ago. This is so long ago." No, they had color televisions, dude. This was not that long ago. So I know you think it's gross. I know you think it's disgusting, but that was the average person's mindset. Remember, black people back then made up 10% of the population, and right now we make up 13. So this was back in the day, way back in. This is way back in here for a lot of people, and a lot of people think racism just died out. Well, the racism wasn't that big because I never experienced it. So, and during this time, gay rights were going on, and when they gave black people rights, they said, "Okay, we'll give you black people rights, but you know, the gay man is also really bad, and you guys are Christians, right? You guys are Christians." So they convinced black people to get deeper into Christianity, and they got deeper into Christianity and said, "Well, black people have rights, but now we don't want the gay people to have rights." So they started focusing. The black and white people came together, and that's why you see a lot of older black people that say, "Oh, I don't like gay people. Black people have to fight for the rights. Gay people are separate than black people." But there are gay black people. There are still some people that refuse to accept that Tyler Perry, famous black conservative, is in any way, shape, or form gay. Tyler Perry is at least bisexual at the bare minimum, if we can at least accept that. Now, the reason I bring this up is because I want to talk about Trump and the trans issue is Brian Noem. Now, if you don't know who Brian Noem is, this is very important. Brian Noem. So, Brian Noem, let me go ahead and bring this up here. Brian Noem is the husband of a former Trump administration person. Now, if you don't recognize the name Brian Noem, I don't fault you for not knowing the name Brian Noem, but I'm going to keep saying it so you don't forget the name Brian Noem. Brian Noem is a bimbo. Brian Noem wants to be a bimbo. Now, this is going to sound weird to say. It's very odd of me to say that, but Brian Noem, Kristi Noem's husband, wanted to get feminized by black men online. That was like his entire thing. He loved dressing up in women's clothing. He's a very famous Republican man. This happened 2 months ago. 2 months ago, all this stuff dropped. And you may be asking yourself, well, why didn't this make big news? It did for one news cycle. But Brian Noem, and I'm going to bring him up to show you his bimbofication. Brian Noem was this whole thing, right? If you look up Brian Noem, you'll see, if you scroll down a little bit, you can see that just his name alone. Let's see, Brian Noem. I'm gonna look up the bimbo. Brian Noem bimbo. So yeah, this thing right here. This was going on where he had this bimbofication. Let me open the image in a new tab. This thing right here where he was found online dressing up with these big prosthetic breasts. His wife didn't know. It was a secret thing. He repressed his sexual desires. And it's not the trans part. It's not him being trans. I just want to point this out. Yeah, he's just a femboy. Okay, hear me out. If I go deeper into the articles to make you understand what I'm talking about, you're going to immediately suck your words because you're not listening to me, right? You're not listening to me. I read all the articles already. He wanted to become a woman. He kept asking, how do I become a woman? It makes me feel more like a woman. We can go through the messages and see that he wanted to become a woman. He messaged other people online. He was going for bimbofication. That was his entire thing, right? That was the entire thing he wanted to do, right? If he was just cross-dressing, it would just be like he's cross-dressing. But he wanted to be specifically a bimbo. He wanted to get gender reassignment surgery. That was his entire thing. I already read all the things. I already read every article. I can read the article bar for bar if you want to. I can do that, right? Now, you may be asking yourself, why is this? Why is this? As a matter of fact, you may be asking yourself, why do so many Republican men go to Thailand? Right? There's a term. It's called katoi, right? You may not know what a katoi is. I'm going to show you what a katoi is. Katoi in Thailand is the classification of a ladyboy in Thailand. That's a katoi. Katoi is the classification of ladyboy in Thailand. Republicans are obsessed with going to Thailand because they're not supposed to do it. Same way you're not supposed to go and get the cookie in the cookie jar. So they continually make trans people more oppressed and make these laws to harm them because they want to. They want to do something taboo, do something messed up. They want to. It's their entire thing. They want to do something really bad and they go to these foreign countries and they want to do something wrong and evil inside of their minds, but they know it's bad, but it feels so good to do something bad because they repress it. They repress it inside of their body. They repress it. You say, "Oh, you're going to Bangkok to Bangkok." That's what they do. They repress this mindset inside of their body. They keep repressing it over and over again. And this comes with religious trauma and all this stuff, because just because you're told that it is bad, that doesn't change the attraction. Thank you for calling my fro. That's what it is. So Andrew talking about good the ladyboys and Thailand's were and how they were better than American trans people. Like that's what it is. That's what it is. Like last official slate, exactly average player, exactly right. The Chud the Builder diet. We're gonna talk about Chud the Builder in a second. Right now, we're talking about the trans thing. So that's the whole thing. So I hate talking about this at length for a lot of time because it's so dehumanizing. Because you may see a lot of people. When I was on Grindr a lot, I would only see DL closeted Republican men. That was like it. Right? That's all I would ever see. DL, closeted Republican men. That's it. That's it. It's the freedom. That's it. You're right, Soup. That's what it is. The freedom you have. It's the freedom. 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 It's the freedom that they have for expressing their true self. So I talked about what I want to talk about at length for that thing. Let's talk about Chud the Builder. So, ladies with gentle hands. Ladies with gentle hands. Do you guys know what's going on with Chud the Builder? You probably don't know who Chud the Builder is. Right? Chud the Builder. Chud the Builder. So let's talk about Chud the Builder. So Chud the Builder recently, if you don't know, shot a man. It would say black woman. The pageantry of black woman is very elusive for a lot of gay men. Well, I saw you had a pretty bad mood and thought you're doing propaganda. And what I want to apologize, I'm not American, but that has nothing to do with with racism in that case. When I first saw you, I had a pretty bad mood and thought you're doing propaganda. No. Yeah, the guy who always says the N-word real hard. I don't do propaganda. I just talk about my opinions on things. I'm not a propagandist, dude. So, this is Chud the Builder. He shot somebody because he kept antagonizing people by saying the N-word in front of their face. Now, Chud the Builder is such an interesting case to me. Such an interesting case. Because we see him complaining here. And let's read what he says. I was wrongly arrested after a restaurant who had Chud the Builder written down at the host stand before I even walked in the door conspired to have me charged. Then I was held until noon on Mother's Day, had to cancel breakfast plans with my family. I was interviewed by the feds and bank account frozen, all electronic device seizes, as well as my firearm. The police cleared my multi-factor authentication keys after they took all my items, so now I can't sign into any of my iCloud and other stuff. I could not care less about some of that. I am simply wary after 6 months of being attacked by our government for expressing the constitutional freedoms our ancestors fought and died for. Wake up, America. It's not illegal for white people to say the same word, and they have the same, they say it to each other. So we don't call each other the hard R. We don't do that, right? Using antagonistic speech or hate speech is not fully protected because it is threatening speech, because you are doing it in order to attack and antagonize. The purpose of the speech that Chud the Builder is using is meant to antagonize. That is what he's doing. Every time he speaks, he is doing that in order to antagonize. He does it to get people to antagonize. Now, I want to point this out. I do agree that we should have freedom of speech. I agree with that. However, he is going about it in such an obtuse way. Do you know what freedom of speech? Do you know what freedom of speech actually is? All right, let's go to Wikipedia. Right? We can just go here. The United States Courts Gov. So let's look at freedom of speech. Freedom of speech includes the right to not to speak, specifically the right to salute the flag, West Virginia, bada bing, bada boom, of students to wear black armbands to protest the war, to use certain offensive words and phrases to convey political messages, to contribute money, to advertise commercial projects. This is what it is, right? To engage in symbolic speech. Freedom of speech does not include the right to incite imminent lawless action, to make or distribute obscene materials, to burn draft cards as an anti-war protest, to permit students to print articles on a newspaper, of students to make obscene speech at a school-sponsored event, of students to advocate illegal drug use at a sponsored event. Now, there's a lot of stuff here. This is very important to talk about all the court casing stuff, because freedom of speech, even that has limitations, right? It is a principle that supports the freedom of an individual or communicate to articulate their opinions and ideas without fear of retaliation, censorship, or legal sanction. The right of freedom of expression has been recognized as a human right. Now, this is very important. Right, this is very important because a lot of people don't know what freedom of speech means. I'm discovering this. So it's like the age of consent lost to me, because people think the age of consent means that, well, if a person's 30 and the girl's 16, it's technically legal. An adult cannot be with a minor in basically any circumstance. That's kind of the law. That's the law. So with Chud the Builder, right, with Chud the Builder, right? He thinks freedom of speech means that he can say the N-word. Terms such as free speech, freedom of speech, freedom of expression are often used interchangeably in political discourse. However, in legal context, freedom of expression more broadly encompasses the right to seek, receive, or impart information or ideas regardless of the medium used. That is what freedom of speech means. It does not mean I can walk up to you, call you a slur, and get no repercussions for it, because there is fear of consequence for the actions you take. You still can get hurt for the words you say, right? I feel like black culture, in a way, is treated as exotic and much more exciting than standard white people stuff, so they imitate it because they want to be a part of something that's not theirs. You're not incorrect. It's the colonizer mindset of wanting to take from another thing because you don't have any culture of your own, because your culture is seen as not real culture, because white has become this homogenous idea. There's Celtic history, there's Norse history, there's all these beautiful things you could pull from. There's the Yoms Vikings, there's the Geats. There's so much beauty in the legend of Thorfinn Karlsefni or Arthur of the Round Table or Leif Erikson. There's so much lore behind all that stuff, but there's no way to pull from that because it's viewed as demonic in the Christian zeitgeist. This is what it is. I don't know how much longer the Simpsons can turn around either. That's what it is. Freedom of speech means the government can't punish you for your opinions. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of consequences. You're right. That's what it is. It's disgusting. So, freedom of speech, right, and expression may not be recognized as absolute. Comment limitations or boundaries for freedom of speech relate to libel, slander, obscenity, pornography, sedation, incitement, fighting words, hate speech, classified information, copyright violation, trade secrets, food labeling, non-disclosure agreements, and right to privacy, dignity, and the right to be forgotten, public secrecy, blasphemy, or perjury. Justice for such includes the harm principle proposed by John Stuart Mill in On Liberty, which suggests that the only purpose for which power can be rightfully exercised over any member of a civilized community against his will is to prevent harm to others. This entire point right here defeats Chud's entire thing about how he thinks he can say whatever he wants to without freedom of getting his shit pushed in. You can't incite violence with a word. Because the word in a social context incites violence, you can't use the word over and over again. You can't do that. You can't be surprised for being stupid. I agree that you should be able to say basically whatever you want to, but to say that black people are chimping out and using racial slurs to attack and incite people, you are going to get what's coming to you. That's what's going to happen. Right? That's what's going to happen. That is the reality of what is going to happen. I think it was because of the decline of religion. I don't agree with it, but I thought white patriarchy generally held figures like Leif Erikson. It does. Because why Chud? He lost his job because he kept saying the N-word online and people were going crazy. Is the intent behind your words too right? I'm not sure. It is the intent behind your words too. At this point, black people might be cursed. No, it's just the past. Because we have collective trauma bonding. That's what it is. Hey, what's going on, Bolo? Is it racist to avoid topics pertaining to racism, knowing that disingenuous actors have hijacked and promoted conversations to inject their hatred of what either group? I think if you protect your peace in any capacity, you're fine. Me with this controversial things I say. The fact of the matter is, black people have always had an impact on American culture and the respect that comes with it. It's to bite their style and not even give credit. People don't care about giving credit the same way that K-pop doesn't care about giving credit. What are your thoughts on the DEA? I don't know what the Detroit Institute of Art. What's the DEA? I don't know what that is. What is DEA? I don't know what DEA is. DEA means, what does that mean? The Drug Enforcement Administration? I haven't heard about this. I have to do more research. I'm not quite sure. I apologize. I don't know much about this. Have endured centuries worth of undeserved bigotry, but we're all burning in the same hell that we created. You are correct. You are correct. You are correct. You can't dox somebody because of freedom of speech. You can't do that. Like Chud the Builder has openly available all these resources, and what he's doing here, if we go to his stuff, we go to join pump. Oh my God, that's his join pump. If we go to he's just pumping a coin right now. I don't want to do that. Oop, don't want to go there. That's that. So he made a give send go, right? He's raised $57,000. Hasn't changed much from last time. He's trying to raise 100,000, and he can't make a GoFundMe because people keep reporting it. But Give Send Go is primarily the resource for a lot of Republicans to go on here because it's more Christian based and how he operates as a human being. He's trying to garner for sympathy, which is fair. That's very fair. I do appreciate him garnering for sympathy. That's what he has to do. He's fighting and advocating for freedom of speech. But being a grifter only can get you so far in the common public zeitgeist of how it operates. It can only get you so far. Right, it is. Let me fast forward that day, and then I learned about the shooting. Your video made me feel better. I'm happy I can make you feel better. It's a bar gaming. I'm happy I can make you feel better. His name is actually Chud. That's what it is. And his actual name, you can see on his GoFundMe, his name is Doughton Eartherly. Like, he had a contracting job and stuff like that. And then I think somebody killed his dog. Somebody killed his dog or something. Like, somebody killed. It was like crazy. Somebody killed his dog. That's not cool at all. I think it's horrifying. Is what's going on here. So it's really insane because he got shot. Like he shot his arm, and it's developing. It's going crazy. The first time Dom Luker used this worm correctly is kind of crazy. So that's what's going on there. And people are saying he's a true patriot. TMZ is showing us it's a whole thing. It's really disgusting. It's really disgusting. It's really nasty. At least I heard they took his dog. I don't know how true that is. They took his dog. I'm not quite sure about that. But yeah, that's the whole thing there. It's disgusting. It's really, really, really disgusting about how he goes. And people are talking about the legality of it and how nonsense of it. Caught a body in self-defense. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing. People are still talking. What kills me about this whole situation is the fact that people are not going to take this seriously at all. Like, it's nasty. It's nasty. Like, it's so disgusting how it's unfolding and the way it goes. Let me see if I can find some more stuff. I say, here goes, Party King. So this thing right here, this is what I was talking about with Chud the Builder being remorseful about stuff.
I might as well just tell you what I'm really upset about. My son's mother texted me today saying that she wants to change his name. Switch it from mine. She fears for him. She said, she's like, oh, you've tarnished your name, and I don't want him to have to deal with that. And I'm sitting there thinking, I walk through the streets and respectable people are literally stopping their cars in the road to shake my hand. I'm walking past people that want to take a picture every second. And the only people that don't like me are niggers that are trying to kill me.
And it was crazy. He ended it off like crazy style. He ended it off crazy. What an insane thing to say. Just crazy thing to say. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And him posting this series finale is dead show payment. You monkeys riding when I walk free. Stay tuned. It's nuts. It will be used against him in court. Like, it's disgusting. It's crazy that he's seen that. Street walls are like, it's crazy. It's insane. It is crazy. What do you mean? What do you mean? You can't just throw us out there like that. That people at 100%. Hold on a second. He's just nutty with it. He's just nutty with it. It's insane. Let me see if I can find the dog thing. Yeah, the people are talking about the shooting more than a dog thing right now because this is going nuts. It's pretty bad. I was about to cry, getting his hat stolen, phone destroyed. All this stuff about him inciting violence, getting his hat stolen. This person saying that, this person saying that a woman came forward and said she had sexual relations with Dalton. It's all just going bad. Ah, God, I hate action, man. Okay, so yeah, it's like a whole thing going on. It's really disgusting. Like, it's really, really, really disgusting. See, Chud the Builder dog. See if I can find it. So here it goes.
Someone killed my dog, guys.
Can't even hear this.
Who's helping me, bro? I can't even, my whole family doesn't.
I can barely hear what he's saying. I can barely hear what he's saying. But it's like a whole thing. Like, black thugs killed Chud the Builder's dog and savages celebrating in the replies. Video leading up to shooting at Chud the Builder. It's like a whole thing. Right? It's really disgusting the whole way it goes through. And I don't, for some reason, right? And people keep telling me I should have like a lot of sympathy for this person, a lot of stuff like that. If I were to go around just calling people slurs and inciting people, saying I'm gonna punch them or accusing them of crazy things, and then filming their reaction, you are making people angry, and then doing that. It's disgusting. It's telling you that. It's like a whole thing. I just keep seeing it over Twitter about the dog thing, but a racist middle-aged nobody. It's really it's so weird that he's trying to get this like pity party about how he operates. It's just so he wants a pity party real bad. He wants a pity party and he wants everybody to feel bad about him all the time. That's what he wants to do. He just wants people to feel bad and sad about what's happening in his life all the time. But I can't feel bad for the guy. I cannot feel bad. How am I dealing with this? Pretty well. Like, what's not to understand? It's dumb. It's dumb. And the anonymity online is really just people wanting to incite violence for the sake of inciting violence overall. It's just really what it is. I'll make a bigger video about this tomorrow, but it's really, really gross. Now, the last topic I want to talk about before I get out of here for the rest of the night, last topic I want to talk about is the Hasan Piker drama. So let's talk about Hasan Piker. With white America has with black people, they're cool. Bling black is in fashion. That's all I can say. Really short stream, damn. Sorry about that. Really, really short stream. Really short stream. Sorry about that. I really want to spend time with my girl. I haven't spent time with her all day today. So this is important. This is important. This is important. I want to talk about this because the Hasan thing is really important to me. Right? So if you don't know, Hasan Piker, I got to state my opinion about Hasan before I even continue with this whole thing. Right? Let's talk about Hasan Piker as a concept. Let's pull a picture of Hasan. Let's get this. Let me get a bigger picture. Can we talk about Hasan? I'd like to genuinely talk about Hasan Piker. I'd like to just have a conversation about this man. If I could for a moment, please. Thank you very much, Outcast. There is no easy way for me to say this. He's hot. Like, objectively speaking, saying he's attractive, right? Now, if you think he's unattractive, that's fair. But if we look at his build, if we look at his body, if we look at if we just look at him from a really, really, really objective point, he's a beefcake. Like, he is a beefcake. He is just a beefcake. He's just a beefcake. And I know that people are going to get on me for saying he's hot. He is hot. I just want to point that out before I even start this whole thing about Hasan Piker. Because exactly how I feel about Hasan Piker is the exact opposite of how I feel about Shoe on Head. So many people will criticize me for Shoe on Head, right? So let me explain Hasan Piker first. This is important. Hasan Piker is easy to clip farm. Every single clip I have seen of Hasan Piker, it is him saying some reactionary, angry nonsense. That's what it is. He's very angry. He's very reaction based. He's very nonsensically pissed at a lot of stuff. He's mad at his audience. He's mad at the two left people that don't understand that he makes mistakes. And he streams for like 11, 12 hours a day. Streams a lot. So he can say a lot of stuff that people misinterpret. He doesn't plan a lot of the words that he says. He speaks off the cuff. He's very emotional and passionate. And that's very good for the clip economy. It's very good. He is a perfect streamer to me. Because he can get clipped People donate to him. People go crazy for him. He's a perfect streamer in totality. That's how I feel about him. Right? So that's what it is. And I think his ideology is near a net positive for how he operates as a human being. I agree to that. I will give you that. But if all you see about Hasan is 30-second clips of him getting pissed and him saying, "Oh, 9/11, there should be another 9/11. I think Americans are stupid. I think communism is good," you're gonna hate him. The issue with Hasan is that you have to watch him for an hour to understand him. He is not a YouTuber. He is a streamer. There's a difference between those two things. Now, that's my take on Hasan. Shoe on Head is the complete opposite of this guy. He is the complete opposite of this guy. Complete opposite. Shoe on Head, June Lapine, is a YouTuber. I apologize. She had a misgendering cis woman. I apologize. It is, his clips are most of the time are getting taken out of context. Shoe on Head is very concise about being irony poisoned. Let's go to Shoe on Head for a moment. Shoe on Head is so irony. You can't take anything she says seriously because at the end of the day, it's kind of all a joke. That's a horrible picture. At the end of the day, everything she says is, I can't find a single picture of this woman. Holy moly. Can I just find one image, please? I'll do that. That will work. That will work. You can't, everything she says is wildly, no, he's not a Kick streamer. He's a Twitch streamer. Everything she says is so seeped in irony. She just gives observations, and everybody considers her like a centrist, but she just doesn't fully commit to anything. And she just kind of makes meme videos, dunking on the left and the right. She's really a both sides are bad kind of person. And because she gave a few political opinions, they do that. And this is really important to me, right? This is really important. I don't want to point this out. This is really important to me. She, from what I understand, from every observation I can reasonably say about her, is just kind of annoying. The worst thing you can be on the internet is kind of annoying. Period. She is literally just a regular person. She is like an offline millennial. That is what she is. She is a regular person. She is somebody that is not seeped in chronically online discourse all the time. She thinks like what I imagine a regular person walking down the street would probably think. Yeah, I think we should get free healthcare. I don't want criminals in our city. That's what she is. Have you kept with the Abbott situation? Not at all. She literally is a straw woman. So when it comes to these two people, they hate her for being kind of annoying, and they hate Hasan for being like the perfect punching bag for the right. Hasan is like the perfect ammunition for the right because you can clip him out of context all the time. Showing heads chronically online, my guy. This is kind of important. So when I say chronically online, I mean the takes that come with being chronically online are echo chamber takes that are purity tests, is what I mean by chronically online. I'm not saying she should, hey, welcome, Serge. I'm not saying she should be chronically online. I am saying that what she does is chronically online. Like, it's crazy. Hasan has some whack-ass takes, in my opinion. That's fair. But that's really what I wanted to say today. I will make a longer stream tomorrow. Tomorrow will be a content day. But today I just wanted to get a little bit of my gripes out because I really wanted to get a lot of this stuff just on paper right now so I can talk about it in a general sense. So thank you very much, Serge. I will make a video about the Chud Builder situation and Lizzo thing tomorrow with my thoughts more organized. But right now, I think the only thing I need you guys to do is to go to my latest video and drop your favorite recipe for meatloaf, if you could do that. So that's what I need you to do. I'm going to spend the rest of my night with my wife, and we're going to go out and probably go to dinner. Thank you guys so much for checking out my content. I really need to go to dinner with my wife because I've just been making videos all day, dude. That's all I've been doing. I'm really paranoid right now because I just got my car stolen, so I'm dealing with that 100%. 100% of Surface Level Commentary channel don't really do that. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Go ahead and have a lovely day. Like the stream. Do all that stuff, all that jazz. I hope you have a lovely night. Please eat dinner. I'm out. Peace. Bye.